Thank you to the 237 birthday wishes from YouTube, 49 from Facebook, 11 on Messenger, 9 on LinkedIn, 4 text messages, 3 phone calls, and 1 video, which is my favourite. Take a look.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Gerald. Happy birthday to you. Hip hooray. Hip hooray.
Really guys, I don't know what made you think of it, but thank you from the heart of my bottom. Let's get out of these fancy clothes. There have been some unhappy people commenting on my past 2 videos. Well, one person. The first video where I said I didn't care about you being black or white, and the second video about white nurses shouldn't have to apologise to our Indigenous folk for simply being white. I'm going to speak openly about one of the comments I received via email, and in the interest of being open and transparent, in response to this person's email, I wrote, I'm still confused as to where my channel is heading. I actually enjoy not having hundreds of thousands of subs because my focus would be on numbers and not content. I respond to every email. Last week was 32, including yours, because if a person writes a respectful email highlighting their experiences, I have all the time in the world to respond. When a person abuses me via email, I'm still respectful, I keep it short and sign off. I also went on to say, I would love to do a piece on tolerance and have a healthy discussion thread on that, but as soon as I say Muslim, blacks, Chinese, etc., I get labelled as a racist, even though Muslims aren't a race. Through my surprise, I was given an opinionated lesson about what racism is. In short, he called me a racist without citing any evidence. Of course you're going to write to me or you're going to comment on this video with shoving your race-baiting opinions down everyone else's throat. But G-Man, not stupid. And in your words, even though you didn't say G-Man, you are a racist, why would you say you are really pulling in the racist audience? I guess you are no longer struggling with which direction you wish your blog to veer. Mate, hashtag DBAD. Don't be a dick. I love a good argument, and it seems that for every one of the 136 comments over the last 2 videos that had people respond to your post, you attack each and every one by labelling them with your pathetic attempt to right the wrongs of your past. Mate, here's an easy solution. You have a YouTube channel with subscribers. Rather than doing videos on you talking about your love for horses and telling people how good looking you were as a young fella, do a video on how white people should never have an opinion or thought about, well, anything that mentions the word black or privilege. Anywho, for those who believe I'm a racist, here's G-Man's guide to fact, not ideologies or the left's construct of bullshitology. A lot of you don't know this, but I'm a gemonologist. I studied gemonology. Here is what I have learnt as a 7-year-old going to my privileged private school in middle-class Sydney, paid for by my stay-at-home German mother and my hard-working Austrian father. Rudy, do you have your whiskey ready? Let's define racism. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. Now don't go interpreting it like it is some type of Egyptian hieroglyphics or abstract art or acting like you're a wine connoisseur. It's a belief that one's own race is superior. And let's not go buying into the crap by the name of Philip T. Stevens, who wrote in an article for the Creative Cafe. He said, if you don't think the president's racist, you definitely are. And saying that if I explain to a person why I am not a racist, odds are I am exactly that. That's like saying I'm not homophobic, I'm not short, and I'm not a supreme athlete. Then by all accounts, according to you, odds are I am exactly that. Come here, let me give you a macroaggression. Sheesh. Now, let's have a look at this piece of bullshitology, and I will try to limit my comments. This piece came from a video produced by BBC3 titled Everyday Racism. When you listen carefully, all I really hear are these snowflakes describing people as bigoted, stereotyping, insensitive, intolerant, insulting, rude, nasty, hurtful, and factual. Take a look.
You're pretty for a black girl.
Well, that's just insensitive.
Are your family cleaners?
Rude.
Where are you from?
Inquisitive.
Small penises.
Well, clearly the guy on the left isn't offended. But let's just say then it's offensive.
When I think of microaggression, I think about racism, which has become so normalised that you don't call it out when it happens.
When I think about microaggression, I think about how insecure you are and how you have no coping skills, have zero resilience, and your parents failed you.
Don't speak like a black person. What does a black person even sound like? That's so stupid to me.
Okay, let's go with your definition. It's offensive, not racist.
I actually have had someone said to me to go back to China.
I'm not buying that. I doubt very much that a person did say that. But if a person did say go back to China, well, that's just rude, nasty, intolerant, and bigoted.
Oh, she's Spanish, or she looks South American. She's definitely up for sex, or she's got to be very sexually active.
Again, there is nothing wrong with a person assuming your heritage. Saying that you are definitely up for sex is rude and an insult to your sensibility.
Why are you being a stereotypical black angry woman?
Perfect. You nailed it. A stereotype, not racism.
Oh yeah.
That is more hurtful than being called a nigger because you feel like they actually mean it.
What? That is more hurtful than being
Called a nigger, called a nigger, called a nigger.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, so when you go back, do you
I don't know anybody that knows what.
Oh, are you Colombian, or you're a drug lord, or oh my God, do you have Mexican hats at home? Do you eat fajitas? Does your mum constantly cook paella? Do you eat chili con carne?
Oh my God, I'm an Austrian, I have Lederhosen, I eat Wiener Schnitzel, and yes, my mum constantly cooked sauerkraut.
Small willies.
Small willies?
Yeah, that is a pretty
That's
negative
my
one.
least favourite, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
And? Your point? Fellas, it's a stereotype or confirmation bias.
You're really articulate, open brackets, for a black person, close brackets.
They were trying to give you a compliment, and you didn't articulate that well anyway. As soon as you said in brackets, you lost me.
Terrorist. It's pretty bad. It's pretty rude.
Oh, now you're just making shit up. I bet no one has ever called you a terrorist. And if they did, well, it's exactly as you labelled it. Pretty rude. And why did you laugh? Maybe you should just learn to laugh off their comments.
This happens a lot. I'll be walking past a car and people will lock their car door, or people will like move their handbag onto the other side if I sit on public transport with them.
Dude, every woman will move their handbag, or a man will move their briefcase if you sat next to them. That's just called courtesy. I don't know why, but I just feel like an ice cream right now.
Just because I'm a brown guy on the tube carrying 2 bags, you get the shifty looks.
Bullshit.
In the media, we're so desensitized to the word. The word terrorist is used every single day, 1,000 times a day.
Bullshit. 1,000 times a day, my white ass.
Because, I mean, there isn't a more appalling thing you can call a person.
I can think of a few, but again, as you labelled it, it would be appalling and not racist.
If my beard is longer, then immediately it's something that people can look to and attack. It's a stigma that is associated with many Asian people.
You mean like Confucius?
If we all go to the door in one group, we won't get into certain clubs, won't get into certain restaurants, won't get into certain pubs, because they assume because you're black or person of colour that you're going to be more trouble than a big group of white lads. And you kind of just accept that's just the way it is.
Really? We're going there now? Okay, gather a group of your best person of colour friends and I'll gather a group of my white mates. Let's see who gets turned away.
I remember I did a gig once and I came off stage and a guy was talking to me from the audience, came on and said he enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. He was chatting, and then he eventually had to go, but instead of saying bye, he just went, very nice to meet you, and did a little bow like that.
Oh, bullshit. It's what we call here in Australia taking the piss.
This assumption that, you know how to twerk.
Okay, do you know how to twerk?
It's kind of like people are defining my blackness for me and deciding what blackness is and how I should live that. And then if I don't respond or cohere with that, I am not black somehow.
Mate, who has the time to tell you how to live your life or to define you? Ooh, you're making it up as we go along.
You ever get called a banana?
I have been called banana, yeah. Not by people here, but people over there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. For those who aren't in the know, banana is a Chinese person who behaves white, so yellow on the outside, but white on the inside.
Hey, you guys are of Asian heritage, right? You wouldn't be a little bit racist yourself, would you now? Huh? Huh?
I think it depends on where your comments are coming from. Are they coming from curiosity? Do you generally want to know? Some people can be quite naive by accident because they just don't know any better and they're curious and they want to know about your culture, about where you're from.
Well said. We may just be curious and want to know about your culture, or we could be a little bit naive by accident.
It's kind of like if you had a backpack and each microaggression was a weight that was added to your back, right? One won't kill you, it won't break you, and you'll be able to carry it, but you'll feel a little heavier, right? And with each one that happens, you'll be able to carry the load less until finally you will break under the weight of it. So if you're never able to question the first microaggression that happens, all that happens is you get to the point where you just break.
Excuse me, sir, could I just check your backpack? Ah, what do we have here? Sir, you can't come in here carrying microaggressions. You'll need to dispose of them. Oh, and just a heads up, make sure you don't have your backpack on the train seat next to a woman. Or even worse, carry two of them.
Every time we talk about microaggression and just open about it and say, oh, this is what that made me feel, and this is what, it just allows you to connect with the fact that you're part of the system that is a problem and you don't think you're above it or different from it, or oh no, I'm sorry, I read The Guardian.
I'm sorry, I read The Guardian. There is not one single shred of dialogue that describes everyday racism, which again are comments directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. And that, my friends, only happens when you believe that you are inferior to another race. G-Man is neither inferior or superior to any human who shares this flat earth of ours. See what I did there? If you call me a racist, then you truly believe that you are inferior to me. And if you do not believe that you are inferior to me, then you and I, my friend, are equal. In that whole 5 minutes of that video, all I heard were insults, rudeness, stereotyping, assumptions, confirmation bias, offensive and insensitive comments, and people just being an ass. Don't be a dick. You just have to look at the age of these sensitive little snowflakes and listen to how pathetic they sound. They want their safe space and politically correct ideologies heard. I'm not long for this earth, and I only have one thing to say. Good luck, kids. What do you think? I'm always up for teachable moments, and to the subscriber with whom I referred earlier in this video, I'll still have a beer with you. Your shout. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, why not? Get your beigey little finger and twerk that button. But forget about tapping on the bell icon, it doesn't work anyway. Now go away and make yourself a sauerkraut sandwich. I'm Gerald Pauschmann for The Point TV.